What is up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I am, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Great to be back with you. I am Cam, the comeback kid today, guys. I had about a week to 8 days of a pretty gnarly sickness. I was convinced I got the COVID. I don't know if I did officially because I didn't go and get like a test for COVID or anything. I went and got seen, or attempted to be seen by an urgent care. It took too long, so I just went home and just kind of hung out. I was chilling with like 103 fever for about a week. Super delirious, disoriented, just I literally couldn't walk. I felt like I had vertigo. I wasn't really sick, like I wasn't throwing up. I didn't have a stuffy nose. I didn't have any of that. After like 3 or 4 days, I lost my taste and smell, which is what made me think it was COVID. And, anyway, I was just laying in a bed, sweating and freezing for like 8 days, and really unable to move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't really keep a thought together. It was hard. Like, when my family, my amazing wife took care of me, and my daughter took care of me. And I remember every time they would come in and check on me, I would just kind of be looking up through this phase, and I'd just be like, they'd obviously ask, "Are you okay?" And I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time talking. And like that was kind of how everything was going. So grateful that I got over that. My daughter got it from me after crawling up in bed with me one night when she just wanted to snuggle after I started feeling a little bit better. She got it, thank God. I immediately told my wife, take her right to the emergency room. Like with me, I didn't feel bad enough that I needed to go take anything like that up. But with her, I'm not playing any games. So you take her, get her checked out. She tested positive for the flu, which is pretty means that's what I had. Which made us all feel better. She rode out. She was off school Thursday, Friday, hung out Saturday, Sunday with us. Everyone's back to 100% today, so we are back with you on the Road to Redemption podcast. I apologize significantly for my absence last week. I don't like to do that to you guys. I wasn't really following anything. I couldn't. I was just kind of laying in bed, listening to old lectures, Harvard lectures, psychology lectures, mental health stuff, so that was cool. It was nice to get to kind of just chill and not think about creating, but just get to be a consumer. I watched a bunch of old movies I loved. It was good. Let's talk about why people still give a shit about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Since I went down pretty much post-trial. I think the keeping up with that and just the constant stressing of myself to get content up and make sure it's up on time and clip it up and put them all out, I think that just drained my body and put me in the situation that I was in. So it was nice to let the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing go. Apparently, while I was down, a lot of stuff came out, right? Like Ben Shue and Camille Vasquez came out and spoke. Elaine Bredehoff came out and spoke about Amber Heard's loss, saying that Johnny Depp's team swayed the jury by telling all these false stories and not letting evidence in, and nobody's buying it, right? From Elaine Bredehoff. One Good Morning America host pressed her pretty hard and was like, "No, man, that's not what happened. Y'all lost. She told her story. Y'all lost. She lied." And and then when Ben Shue and Camille Vasquez came out, they announced that Camille made partner at the law firm, and they said that Johnny, they were very adamant in defending Johnny's innocence, just like she's still doing. Camille Vasquez is a part of the defense team in Johnny Depp's case where that person from the movie said he assaulted him. Said he punched some guy on set. So Camille is confident as well that Johnny's going to beat that case. Then Amber Heard apparently comes out and talks to the Today Show. And I saw like a little 2-minute clip of that here just a second ago where she's like, could you imagine even hearing after everything you heard in court? So she says, after everything you heard in court and testimony and all these things, do you guys think on social media I got a fair chance? Hey, Amber, you didn't go through a court of public opinion. You did, but you also went through a real court that people got to see. That is where people made their inferences off of. Is off of the lies, looking at you as you, watching you lie, looking at the evidence that was presented in the case by his team and by your team. You had all the ability to present, And you didn't because there was none. So for her to stand around and still try to continue this narrative, this is where I ask, why do we still care? Why would anyone consume even an interview that Amber Heard does? Guys, this is where I get frustrated with us as people, okay? Because we can pick up on a story and we can connect to it. We can have our own personal reasons why we care so greatly about it. And I said this on the verdict reading video. But when things are done, you need to learn to let them be done. As in, you following Amber Heard now just to see what she's going to say is disrespecting yourself, because all she's doing is sitting up now and grandstanding and going, this is where social media was wrong. This is where the jury is wrong. This is where the judge is wrong. Do you guys like being made out to be stupid? Right? Have you ever been in a relationship with a parent, a sibling, a romantic relationship where they constantly play you like you're stupid? They say shit that is just clearly so not true that you almost end up just standing there going, okay, all right. And they're like, wait, what? All right. And you're like, yeah, all right. And they're like, wait, you bought that? And you're like, no, I didn't buy that. But you obviously think I'm so fucking dumb that I would sit here and listen to this. And I obviously am dumb enough that I am sitting here listening to you boldly lie to me. So what can I really say? I can't get mad at you because I'm dumb enough to sit here. And that's where you should get very mad at yourself to go, why in the fuck would I sit and listen to Amber Heard say a single word out of her face? A single word. Whether I agree with it, disagree with it, it's for Johnny, against Johnny. Why? Because I think that I'm going to hear this one little thing that I can then snip up, clip up, say the right thing with enough seconds and the right music behind it, post it on social media, and now I mean shit? Why do I want to mean shit off of a terrible fucking person? She even said in the beginning, if you want to watch everything that happened behind closed doors in my relationship and judge me, well, you can do that. Hey, Amber, stop just saying obvious things. We all saw behind the closed doors of your private marriage. So you can't then be like, well, if you want to go through and look everything up about me. Amber, we already did that. We saw who you are. Nobody likes you. So to go on the Today Show and go, well, you guys don't like me because I got an unfair deal. It's like, again, you're being played for stupid. With the Johnny Depp, where everyone is focusing on every single move Johnny Depp makes while he's over in the UK playing with Josh Beck or Jeff Beck, and meeting up with Kate Moss, and he's being whisked away from all these adoring fans. It's like, guys, we can't forget what we said during the case. I am a huge fan of Johnny Depp's acting. I do not condone a lot of what he did or a lot of the things that took place during that time in his life. I'm glad he got justice for what he did, but this is not a time to grandstand on Johnny Depp because he defeated such an evil piece of shit. Again, she should have been defeated. She should have gotten the karma she got, and she should have been put in her place. But why now? What do we gain from it? Almost 2 weeks later now. When you wake up in the morning and you're still clicking that first video you see of Amber Heard's team speaks out, Johnny Depp's team speaks out. Oh, I gotta watch. Is it because you're feeling this emptiness inside of your own life where maybe the goals of your job aren't going well, the goals in your marriage or family's not really meeting the par, you haven't been able to improve your house the way you thought, your car is the way you thought, you're not happy with life, you don't have enough followers on social media, not enough people care when you post or whatever. So what, you think that by staying relevant in this, it gives you meaning to this greater wide world that we live in? Amber Heard doesn't give this world meaning. Johnny Depp doesn't give this world meaning. Not one of us individually are important enough to give a day meaning. So let's stop just being so easily distracted and filling our days with these hot button topics. And if you're going to fill your time with them, ask yourself and be able to give yourself an answer. Why do I care about this? Why am I consuming this? Why am I choosing to fill the most precious thing I have, which is my time, that I can never get back? Why would I fill it consuming garbage? Trash. Because I'll tell you, ever since the Johnny Depp thing, the trial and the verdict has stopped, I've been watching like a hawk on social media to just see, what's the next story going to be? What's the next thing going to be? It was guns and it was mass shootings. Lord knows we had plenty of them. It kicked off with Uvalde, I think, and then there was one in Maryland, and then we had that one in Buffalo, and then there was just another one, I think it was like in Wisconsin, and then they had another one, a smaller one that was like 3 people dead or something like that, and it was a handgun shooting inside of an old factory, or it was a worker of a factory. So guns took the forefront immediately following Johnny Depp, and we'll talk about this as well, the grandstanding on guns. I'll just say right now, I want every single person, if you have never joined the United States military, right? If you've never joined the United States military, I do not want to hear out of your fucking mouth that an 18-year-old is allowed to join the military, therefore he should be allowed to pick up and carry around an AR as a civilian. Hey, you fucking idiots. What's the difference between the 18-year-old that goes off and joins the military and that fucking asshole 18-year-old that you keep referring to that's walking around in civilization, in civilian life? He's not trained how to use a fucking firearm by someone who is entrusted to teach him. You being his father, his grandfather, even if you're a vet, that does not qualify you to then just go and certify that this person can handle this thing and use it in a time of conflict. Hey, let the military do that. Even as me as a vet, right? I'm a vet. I was a military police officer, carried an M4 for years, carried an M9 as well, carried lots of weapons, shot lots of weapons. I would not want everyone in the United States to think that just because I know how to use one and I show my kids the basics of firearm safety, that I think at the age of 18 years old, my youngest daughter should be able to just go buy an AR because her dad's a vet. No, you need to go and train on this and learn what its ability is. It can take your fucking block off from 200 meters out, 250, 300, and maybe a little excessive of 300 meters out. And anything closer to that, I can cause massive hell on that. And I know exactly how it feels to pull that trigger. And I know exactly what it feels like, to have to make quick decisions. So again, everybody who wants to feel like you're grandstanding for America because you can say, well, if you can carry a gun at 18 for this country, then why can't you go out and do this? Hey, guess what? Go carry that weapon for your country and then see if you still want to carry it afterwards. Because guess what? Shooting a grown person or a child in the face is a little different than planking birds out in your backyard. Okay? I know a lot of y'all play a lot of Grand Theft Auto. You've seen The Departed a few times. You watched whatever Mark Wahlberg movie came out recently enough where he's John Wick and shit. Hey, miss me with all that. Miss me with all that. It's not how it goes. You don't, in most cases, 45-degree angle and off-sight to shoot your AR. Okay? This isn't fucking John Wick. And you guys aren't talented like that. You didn't train with Terran Tactical. Most of you fucking idiots don't even know who that is. But you're so quick to try to pull at the emotional heartstrings of people and go, well, if an 18-year-old can go off to war, then they should be able to carry that same weapon to defend themselves against a tyrannical government. Let's have a conversation about this one. That tyrannical government will always have superior firepower over you. They have nuclear fucking missiles. You lose. It's great that when the Constitution was written, we wrote in that we as the American We the people have a right to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government and all this, yada, 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 yada. That's great. That's great. That's great that we did that. And it's great that we hold on to that foundation. But guess what, y'all? We lose. This is from someone who's been on the bases. I've seen the artillery. I was in the field artillery. We lose. So is it this thing where, like, you should toe a line to keep from a tyrannical government squashing you? No. You keep your arms and you stay ready to fight at all times if a tyrannical government was to start to form, because then you can size up and grow militias and do these things that you are constitutionally allowed to do, right? And you are allowed to bear arms and you are allowed to collect an arsenal of sorts, right? Those are real things that happen if we were to be overthrown by a dictator. But that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about you should be allowed to keep whatever explosives and firepower you want at your house in case you decide that the sitting president, who's being peaceful and is not enacting martial law, decides that, what, he makes a choice you don't like, or a riot breaks out, or a black man is killed in the streets of Maryland, or wherever, anywhere else, and now 18-year-old kids just think that it's their God-given right to pick up an AR and go patrol the streets like they are a SWAT team member? Because let's remember, most of the time, law enforcement is not even just walking around patrolling the streets with M4s. Why? That's too aggressive. That's what we do when we go overseas and we're doing a patrol mission where we need to be seen as a force, as an entity of power or authority in an area. We will sweep walking around carrying guns. Guess what? When you're doing hearts and minds missions, a lot of the times you will even have people who are either not touching their weapon at all. Sometimes they may not even have them like visible, because the goal of that mission is to win hearts and minds, not to scare them or to be a presence of force here. We want to give you water. We want to give the kids candy. Now, obviously, you keep your kids safe, your people safe. So, there's always weapons. There's always stuff like that. But again, there's uses. So even in war, when you're in an active theater of war, there's times that we acknowledge that the use and the show of these weapons are enough to cause a situation to escalate. That's exactly what we saw with Kyle Rittenhouse. One situation was shitty as fuck. We had more aggressors and all this other shit was brought into it. And now you've got an 18-year-old kid taking the streets, thinking he's patrolling and protecting, with a gun, with an AR, not a handgun, because he's not allowed to have that, but he is allowed to have an AR. Now, let's talk about this, because Kyle Rittenhouse was actually pretty responsible when he shot. He didn't kill anybody else that he didn't intend to fire at or anything like that. So, given that, I'm willing to give him that credit that he wasn't just, he didn't do all that. And he didn't go out and commit like a school shooting. That's not who this kid was. But we do have those kids out there. So it's very interesting where what we feel is okay to pick up, right? Like how many times, and I posted this during the Rittenhouse trial, where in the scene from Friday where Craig is pulling the gun out from the dresser and his dad catches him. He goes, "What the hell are you about to do with that?" And he goes, "Defend myself." And he goes, "Damn, man." He's like, "I'd have never moved into this neighborhood if I thought you needed a gun to fucking walk down the street and defend yourself." And he said, "Put that shit down." He said, "Right here. Right here's how you fucking defend yourself. Right here." Because then you both get up and live to fight another day. Now, when we're in war, we don't have that opportunity. We're at war. That means I'm coming to destruct everything you are. Tear it limb from limb. Everything you have and hold dear, I'm coming to fucking take it from you. With every amount of force I have. So when we see ARs in life, some of us like to think that it's okay to be conditioned, to be desensitized to these things, because some of us are. Walking around just kind of patrolling with an M4, that's not going to get my attention. That's going to probably make me feel better to see someone that's got that if I feel that they're trained to have it. But having it in a situation where it doesn't fit, like a grocery store, and you see someone just walking around with that, and you're like, I don't think the grocery store is enough of a threat that I need someone walking around in here with an AR. If it is, I moved into the wrong neighborhood, right? So that means that there's an extenuating circumstance going on that would warrant an armed guard with such a capacity to be here. Because now we all feel it. Now we're all, what? On our P's and Q's. Ain't nobody acting crazy. Don't get loud. Be quiet. Keep your shit together, right? You're a little on, because there's a guy there that could be like, hey, yo, I told you shut the fuck up. Now, is he warranted to do that? Hey, yo, shut the fuck up and stand there. Well, are you going to shut the fuck up and stand there now? You might. Are you warranted to have to do that? Or are you being wrongfully in prison now? We don't know. Because now we just got motherfuckers with superior firepower. Now, again, if he's walking around with a concealed weapon, a pistol on him, and then he pops off, hey, I told everyone to get the fuck on the ground. Okay, bet. Now, if there's 3 or 4 others of us that go, okay, I got my gun, everyone be cool. Just be cool. Just do what they say. Get on the ground. And then you get on the ground and you pull yours. Bang, bang. Now you can eliminate the threat because you stayed concealed. You weren't carrying something out of the ordinary that doesn't fit this situation, right? So this is not a conversation of being anti-gun. Putting restrictions to make it to where a 21-year-old, you got to be 21 to get an AR, and you got to go through certain classes, and there are red flag laws in place that hold people responsible when weapons are used irresponsibly by people that shouldn't have them. This is how we hold ourselves accountable. And it's by watching people who try to act like they're fake patriots and go, well, guns are an automatic American right, and every gun should be treated equally. You are exposing what an idiot you are. And again, most of these people have not served in the military and miss me with all your bullshit of, oh, I was going to get in, but I had this, and my grades were this, and I went and played football, and I got married, and You did or you didn't? Hey, you did or you didn't. You joined the military and completed it, or you didn't. You were honorably discharged, or you weren't. There's no gray areas there. I don't want to hear dick from a bunch of people that fly American flags in front of their house and know somebody that once served and feels like because of this that you are some entitled voice on this subject. You get to shut the fuck up. Simply put, if you have never carried a weapon for this country, law enforcement, military, fucking, what are those things called that fly in the air? A marshal? I don't give a fuck. You got some training under you. You carried a gun for this country under one of its belts, under one of its credentialed whatever. I don't give a fuck if you're a trained security guard. You have experience. You have a voice in this conversation. To be some fucking idiot that thinks that you know about guns because you and your fucking dad and grandpa and uncles used to go in the back and do whatever. No. No. So I ask again. There's things that we should care about, and then there's just grandstanding. Which is it? On guns, on domestic violence, on all this shit. What is it? Do you genuinely give a fuck, or are you grandstanding for people that don't even really give a fuck about your opinion that much anyway? But they're going to read it and go, oh yeah, so he said what I wanted him to say, so I'm not going to get into his comment section. That's what most of y'all want. You just want to post something enough that's not going to get people mad at you in a comment, but enough that you'll get enough likes so you feel special. That's all most people are trying to do today. say the right thing that fits with the right crew that you've got built on your fuck-ass Facebook page so that when you put it on there, you get all the love and admiration and go, look, everybody loves me. I'm so fucking smart. Oh, my God, look, guys. And then you go to your family. Look, see, they know what, they get it. When I talk, they get it. Why don't you guys get it? Why does nobody in my life get it? Like the people on social media. Because you're grandstanding to an audience that is formulated, specifically picked for you, and sat down in an auditorium for you to go, oh, here's what I think about things. But you don't know. Most people don't have the real life experience to know what the fuck they're talking about. Well, I saw this thing and I read this article and I saw this stat that said this. So, well, in America, we have Second Amendment, and in Second Amendment, we defend against tyrannical governments, and it's all right to bear arms. So that means I can carry a fucking rocket launcher down the street if I want. Doesn't really matter. Right? The right to bear arms, the right to bear arms. Doesn't matter that we only had fucking muskets back when this shit was written, and now we literally have lasers that can fucking dissolve you from across the sea. But, guns are guns, weapons are weapons. It is what it is. It's just dumb. I'm tired of having all these half conversations and listening to people act like they're fucking smart and know what the fuck they're talking about because you reposted something you grabbed from some politician's fucking Instagram page. You're all dumb. Dumb as fuck. Dumb as shit. And it makes me resent the internet to the point where, like, while I was sick, all I wanted to do was get on and talk and be able to give my opinions, because I feel like they come from some experience and have some weight behind them, that hopefully people don't take this as a massive kick in the ass. If you do walk around saying shit like, well, if you're 18 years old and you can join the military, you should be able to have an AR. I don't want you to take it as, I don't like you guys. I don't like you very much because you're idiots and you make my life very difficult. But at the same token, I understand that you have personally identified with this idea of being an American or a patriot or a gun rights activist or whatever, and it's almost not your fault because you've just blindly and droolingly walked onto social media and goes, oh, I'm gonna just regurgitate everything I hear because it sounds good, and someone that I looked up to one time said that when I was young enough to know better, and so now I'm just gonna share America, share America, share. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, I got legit people who I like in my life as people. And I watch them post shit online, and I'm like, oh, man. Like, we just can't be friends because, not that you're not a nice person, but you're just so dumb. Like, you're so dumb, and you're so clearly, like, just grandstanding for, like, look at me, I'm a gun guy. It's like, okay, I don't need any of that in my life anymore. That is legitimately, when people talk about toxic masculinity and like guns, that's what they're talking about. Is people just being like, oh, fucking guns, America, firepower, we're America, bald eagles and fire and Trump and fucking yeah. And it's like, hey, that's not who we are. Just like all veterans are not tattooed, bearded, lead-slinging, bikini-snapping fucking assholes who drive big, huge trucks with truck nuts on the back, like, and wear operators caps. We're not all this one thing. Gun supporters don't look one way. We don't act one way. We don't have one opinion. Veterans, we don't look one way, sound one way, have one opinion. We shouldn't. If we are, then we're the sheep that we keep calling other people. We are the snowflakes that we keep making fun of because we're just blindly following things because you've heard it once and it sounded good when you said it in front of a certain group, so you just keep regurgitating it. You're not looking at new facts. You're not looking at new information. You're not looking objectively at what the fuck is going on around you and watching people die everywhere. Either that or you just don't genuinely give a fuck enough. Because how you could sit here and still say, oh, 18-year-olds, they can join the military, so they should be able to walk around with an AR. That is the most simple-minded, ignorant, asinine fucking thing I've heard as a 30-year-old person who was in the military. It's dumb. It's a dumb fucking thing to say. Again, we have two 18-year-old men. This 18-year-old man goes to basic training. This 18-year-old man does not. So if this one went off to the military and learned marksmanship and learned how all these different firearms work depending on what his MOS is, and this one stays in the fucking backyard and shoots birds and shit and coyotes and whatever, that's not the same fucking thing now, is it? That's two different experiences. One of them is professional and tactical. The other's fucking around. Also, let's talk about this while we're at it. This soldier leaves his friends and his family and is broken down by the United States government and brought back up as a soldier to be able to deal with things like isolation, dealing with longing and missing of your family and painful, strong emotions, isolation, things you have to learn to overcome to be able to pick up a weapon and not turn it on your goddamn self or turn it on somebody else. What do you think mental health struggles with veterans and law enforcement comes from? It's from having to use these fucking weapons when you thought you'd be okay to use it, and when it came time to use it, your body didn't quite react the way you thought, or your mind didn't. And now you're left going, man, fuck. I didn't think I was going to care. I had to shoot that guy, and I fucking killed him. Now he's there, and I killed him. And, you know, you got to sit there and go, fuck, I killed a person, and I'm not going to jail. That's a weird one. In the throes of war, right, you're raised 0 through 18. I kill someone, I go to prison for murder. Well, I join the military, and if I'm asked to go to war, and I shoot him in the fucking face because I'm supposed to, I have to deal with it, but I can also justify. I'm a good person for shooting him in the face. I killed him. Because if I wouldn't have killed him, he would have killed me. And if he gets through me, he could have killed all of them. And if he gets through all of them, he could have killed my fucking family. Are these conversations, are these real thoughts that you guys are going through in your backyard tactical ranges? Or when you're on Instagram plinking your metal fucking targets that you bought for $300 so they spin and look super cool when you're running the course? Did you consider that one guy that only planned to come with you to see the amount of destruction he was going to be able to get off before the police caught him? I can tell you I have a hero in Chris Kyle that was very trained in firearms. Trusted a fellow brother in arms to take him out shooting. And unexpectedly, that brother in arms turned the weapon on Chris and killed him. Chris Kyle, famous American sniper. What's the irony there? A man that did so much with a weapon for this country was taken out by a weapon in this country. It's fucked up, isn't it? I'm not here to say that the irony is not lost on me, or to say that it is lost on me. It's not. I understand every situation is unique and every moment is precious. But that's why I'm begging you all to be bigger and smarter and more mature than a simple meme that you read on Facebook telling you what your American rights should be or are. Look in your communities. Remember the schools you went to. And then imagine if somebody broke in those doors, violated the security and the safeness that you entrust in those buildings to send your kids every day. And imagine a person whose face you can't picture because it's probably just pretty normal. And they're entering that school, the doors you've walked through so many times, with the same intent of, if I see a face, I'm going to blow it apart. And I don't give a fuck what it is because I feel so justified to do so. Unchecked, on whatever, because I was able to go and make a purchase, I can now deal death in the amount of 30 rounds for however many mags I can carry. I love you all very much. I'm sorry that this episode was a little heavy. Like I said, I've been sitting around, laying around, and I've had a lot on my mind recently. Life is stressful. Life is stressful for a lot of people, myself included, and I think it's time that we make some changes so that this stress doesn't keep causing us to lose so many people. And with that, I love you guys. Please check out the website, roadtoredemptionpodcast.com. Has all the past episodes, has all the merch that we got going on. I'm not really pressing anything as far as merch and all that goes right now. I'm just too tired to do it all. So if you will, guys, it helps me so much. Thumbs up the show. Lets other people know you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. Get subscribed if you haven't. And hit the bell. And we will see you all on Wednesday. I love you.